I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've got my Wi-Fi here in the vehicle, and I hope it works. Signal I think is okay here. It was getting full bars. Says your connection is weak. Yeah, because I'm out in bumfuck basically. I don't see anybody coming on. Still says you're. I don't see anybody on. Hey everybody. Hey, if I lose you, I'm on the road, and I'm in the middle of nowhere, heading back to Virginia Beach. Just had a great day of advanced training, so I'm going to try not to crash here. And please go ahead and put some comments in. I may not catch them because, again, I don't want to crash here. I'm doing about 70 miles an hour on the way home. Hi Donna, how are you? And so it's going to be a little different show tonight if it hangs in there, because I just came back and I always had a great appreciation for our law enforcement people. Hello Lori. But it's even greater now because I spent the whole day with two 19-year veteran SWAT guys, 25-year veteran police officers, and hey Alan, how are you? And I was doing building clearing or home clearing and low light handling of flashlights, clearing your home for bad guys. Now, you know, the first thing you always want to do, hey Sue, how are you? The first thing you always want to do, if you don't have anybody to protect in your house or if they're behind you, is you barricade yourself and call 911, get your firearms ready and give them warning if they breach a certain door. Boom, they're going to get it. You know, don't be a hero, in other words. But we did spend time working. It just really rattled your brain. They're shooting off AK-47s in this big warehouse, and it's blowing your ears out and startling you. And in this case, you're trying to stop an active shooter. So it wasn't the typical active shooter course that Alan teaches, but this was maybe you're in a mall and you hear gunshots and everybody's running, and you know the way they kind of framed it is every time you hear a shot it could be another child dying. Wow. Donna says I'm actually doing my IMTC homework right now. Good for you. I think you're cheating a little bit being on the line with me. And as I said, if your comments go by, I just can't see them. I'll try to catch up tomorrow and answer you if there was anything I missed. But wow, and these guys were a team. They knew each other's moves before another one even blinked an eye. After all this practice, all these years, and serving thousands of felony warrants, and wow, it was just very impressive. And you know what these guys, what they risk. They call themselves like the tip of the spear. You know what they risk when they breach a home to pick up a bad guy or go after a bad guy, or you got a hostage situation and they breach the room and they've got to shoot the guy in the head to stop him. There's only certain places you can hit a person that will, right up in here, that will stop them instantly, so they can't, their motor skills just stop. If you hit them anywhere else, they could pull a knife across a little kid's throat or something. So you have to hit them in a certain place, and you can't miss because you're going to hit the hostage. So God, these guys have the weight of the world on there, and 19 years of it. Amazing. So anyway, that's what I was doing today. And if you're going to bother, carrying a handgun or carrying a concealed weapon, you should take the time to learn how to use it, stay current with it. I know there's a big flurry of people that just, want to run out and get a gun. Oh, I'm going to get a gun to protect myself. But, hey, Donald, if you have a gun and don't know how to use it and don't know how to use it under pressure, I mean, you're better off probably not having it. Get a dog, all right? Even that, you got to learn how to operate the dog so it doesn't bite you or your kids or, whatever. So let's think of a fake sponsor. All right, our fake sponsor tonight is H&K MP7s. Remember, it's a fake sponsor. They're not actually sponsoring us. But these guys were talking about the fact that they love the MP5s, but the MP5s were in a different world where it's using a handgun bullet, a 9mm. And he says a lot of the bad guys are wearing ballistic vests nowadays, and the MP5 wouldn't penetrate it. So if they had 15 guys penetrating a house, 3 of them are going to have MP7s, which use a rifle bullet that will penetrate bulletproof vests. So I don't know if there's a civilian version of that yet, but so they're our fake sponsor for tonight, Heckler & Koch, which is a high-end German gun manufacturer. I used to have a flare gun from Heckler & Koch, which I scared the hell out of bad guys at my nightclub, shooting flares sideways instead of up in the air. Scared the hell out of bad guys. Looked like I was the devil, shooting fire out of my hands. I don't see, let's see, any more comments there. It's hard to see them here, but yeah, Roberto. Hey, Roberto, how are you? Let's see, what else was interesting happened today? The low light stuff with the flashlights. Wow. I mean, these guys actually teach a course, a 40-hour course on using a flashlight. All right. So we only got the short course, but some of the tricks are just like ninja kind of things. I mean, you're using the light to blind people, to disorient them, to cover you so they don't know where you are, even though they know you're there, but they can't pinpoint you because of the way you flash the light and move the light all over the place. But if you just use the light, you can see somebody coming a mile away and just wait for them, and as soon as they come around the corner, boom, done. But the way they taught us to handle the light, man, you just can't tell where they're going to pop out, how. Really crazy. I know I'm beating your ear on this stuff, but that's, like I said, this is what I've been doing all day today, learning from these guys. And then they would stage bad guys in the house and move them all around so you didn't know where they were. And this was the easy course because there was nothing in the room, so you didn't have to trip over furniture or anything. And it was still hard. You still had to be very careful on what they call slicing the pie. And in some cases, we worked in two-man teams. There was a husband and wife team there. That was cool. And you had to coordinate and give signals, and it was really, really eye-opening. And that was only one day. And these guys, they were telling me that to be on the JV team in their SWAT team, you got to be on it 10 years as a second stringer before you even have a chance at being on the main SWAT team. Wow. Wow. The sacrifice and the years of training these people make is just crazy. So that's what I was doing all day. And I've got some other training coming up for survival medicine. and survival first aid. You know, if you get shot or hurt out in the woods or break your leg or, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm just a continuous learner. I really love learning. I don't know if anybody can still hear me. Put some comments in there if you can still hear what's going on here. By the way, I got a cheap LED light lighting up the car right now. Probably people going by are thinking, what the hell's going on? I hope I don't get arrested for this. But I got a new, you know, this iPhone 7 I have is really big, you know, 7S or whatever it is. And so I ordered a new car mount, windshield mount for it, and it's really nice. It was only $10. Let's see, Roberto says loud and clear. All right, that's good. But anyway, I think I got this off of eBay, and it was a Verizon windshield mount that's plenty big enough for the iPhone 7, very sturdy. Let's see, carry tampons. Yeah, I always carried tampons before I knew what to do with them. Which reminds me of a story. But yeah, tampons are good for sucking chest wounds and things like that. And even Tampax, you know, are good for packing wounds and stuff. But what was I going to tell you about tampons? After Corinne left the retreat center, I had to jump in and do the shopping. And so Lakia said, or Kay or somebody said, hey, you got to get, you know, tampons and Tampax and stuff, you know, because we're out. And we always keep extra supply of everything in case somebody needs something. So this is bad enough as it is, me trying to buy this stuff. But I'm at Sam's Club, and I'm standing there looking like I just seen a ghost, because there's like hundreds of different Tampax, all different flavor. I don't know if they're flavors or sizes. I don't know what to buy. And I'm just standing there looking like a pervert, like I really want to be in the tampon aisle. Finally, I'm desperate, so I'm calling Jennifer. What should I get? I don't know what, you know, and there's all these names on these things, and oh my God, I was like, I cannot believe I'm standing here looking at this tampon aisle, and people are walking by looking at me like, here we go, pervert in the tampon aisle. So I don't remember what I got, but somebody called me back, Jennifer or somebody, said, well, get this, get this, get the other. And I said, oh my God, I thank God I'm out of the tampon aisle. I can go to the cheese aisle or something, any aisle except the tampon aisle. I will not want to be there. Let's see, Lena. Hey, Lena, how are you? I'm out. When I hit a bump, I can't read. Actually, tampons are not as good as just buying the proper gear. That's true, but I mean, in an emergency situation, you know, you got to do what you got to do, because the person will bleed out before you can run and get the right gear, or if you don't have the right gear with you. But I agree. And, you know, interesting, folks, the tourniquets used to be a big no-no. No, never put a tourniquet on. Now, Alan was telling me they make tourniquet pants and tourniquet shirts now to be able to... I said that was a little pessimistic, but I guess makes sense. That right embedded in the clothing is a tourniquet in case you get a wound and stuff. So I don't know how much those clothes cost or where you buy them, but I am getting, I am looking forward to this survival medic course, and yeah, getting all the stuff, having stuff in the car or having it at home in case of a emergency. Even taking it with me on my bike rides. You know, who knows what's going to happen? Somebody runs off into a tree, or you know, has a heart attack or something. I don't know what I can do about that, but I guess I'll learn. Let's see. I got to make sure. I don't crash live. You know, they got so many people killing themselves on live Facebook. I don't want to be the next one because I haven't written any good suicide notes, so I don't want to do that. And the course, in case you want to look at whatever they have to offer, these SWAT guys, it's only part-time for them because they're full-time SWAT, but it's US-Syndicate. I guess that sounds kind of bad. US-Syndicate, I think it's .com. And I had to put an application in because these guys were really serious, not wanting to train bad people. It took about 3 weeks to get my application cleared. I think they checked all my social media and everything to make sure I'm not a bad guy trying to learn, you know, all the tactics that those guys use. And we also talked about flashbang grenades too. You know, they're telling us stories of stuff that happened. Hey, do you know what the most common excuse was for drug dealers across the country when they found dope in their pants? They said, this is really real. Even other departments, they get together and talk, and they hear it all over the country. The drug dealers say, oh, these aren't my pants. When they found drugs in their pockets. So they said that doesn't really fly too well in court. The judge says, well, maybe they're not, buddy, but you had the drugs on you, so you're going to jail. So let's see what else happened today. You always get the guy that knows everything. You know, that guy. There was one guy like that. He knows what everybody else should be doing. So you had to put up with that. And let's see, we used airsoft guns. I had a malfunction. Luckily, I had already put down the active shooter, and then I had a malfunction, and I'm not sure if they were impressed or not, but I immediately went into my malfunction drill, tap, rack, bang, tap, rack, and you don't necessarily have to bang, but I immediately went tap, rack. Tap is make sure your magazine's in. Rack is rack the slide to try to clear the malfunction, and then go bang. If it doesn't go bang, you got to go into your next step of malfunction drill. But I had already put the guy down, so I saved the whole Springfield Mall. How you like that? I don't think it's going to make the news tonight. And let's see what else. We talked about legal aspects too. They're not lawyers. There was 2 lawyers in the crowd, but they weren't really criminal lawyers. So we talked about Virginia law, you know, what you can do, what you can't do, and a lot of stuff that Alan, I mean, wasn't nearly as in-depth as Alan and I talked about on brutal self-defense. But yeah, it was interesting from the perspective of a couple SWAT guys. And we also talked a lot about what you should say and what you shouldn't say to the police. My comment to them was, you know, you don't be an asshole. You know, if you want to invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, still you should give your name, basic facts that can't be disputed. Wow, you ought to see the sun or the moon right now. Let me see if I can do a reversal on this. And I'll turn the light out. I probably can't see that, but there's a gorgeous, it just disappeared. Gorgeous full orange moon. God, it was gorgeous. Just went behind the trees. But you should, I mean, here's, I'll give you an example of what I would say if somebody broke into my home, threatened my life, and I shot them. Well, the first thing I would do is call 911. I'd say, there was an intruder at my home, there's been a shooting, please send an ambulance and police. I'm the owner, my name is Tom Antion, I'm about 6'2", 280, black hair, and I'm wearing a beige fishing vest. And then, if the guy wasn't totally incapacitated, I'd be holding the gun on him, or maybe kicking his weapon away. And then when the police, I'd stay on the phone with the 911. And when the police got there, I would sit my gun down and hold my hands up. Now, I'd still be watching this guy if he's not totally incapacitated. I wouldn't approach him. I wouldn't try to save his life, try to stop bleeding, none of that. And also, you got to be cognizant if there's somebody else, if he had an accomplice. And then when the police came in, I'd say, my name's Tom Antion. I'm the owner of this house. This guy does not belong here. And he had a gun. I shot him and immediately called you. I saw a car pull out of the driveway when they heard the shooting. So they could have had an accomplice. Other than that, I know you guys are working hard, and I know you guys are, don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to say anything else until I talk to an attorney. You guys know how crazy and critical this situation is, so I'm not saying anything else till I talk to an attorney. I'll be glad to sign a complaint, and I'll cooperate fully in 24 hours after I've spoken to an attorney, and then you shut up. It's over. You don't open your mouth again. The reason being, nothing you say can help you. All right, nothing. All right, so shut your mouth. And we watched videos, and we talked about all the scenarios where people were trying to be helpful. They were totally innocent, and they kept running their mouth. And then a politically motivated prosecutor that wants a high conviction percentage took one little piece of it and got him convicted. Terrible. Alan says, however, he's back to the tampons. Tampons, wait a minute, I don't want to run into this guy. Can help if nothing else, available, but it's not wise to plan on using them. Okay, in a kit, yes, that's true. If you're planning a kit, don't get tampons unless you or somebody just needs some tampons as spares, and they're always running out. But if you're making a kit for your vehicle or home, get the proper stuff, and I'll know more about what to get. I know about tourniquets and gauze pads, and there's stuff that's coagulants you can get for bleeding.
Continue
things like that.
64 East.
So get all the proper stuff. I'm sure you can go online and find a trauma, what goes into a trauma kit, for sure. So anyway, back to the legal stuff. It just doesn't make sense to be helpful, because the whole system is designed to not to make it so that if you try to be too helpful and just keep running your mouth and say stuff like this one guy said, everything perfect, except he said he didn't like the guy. Well, that's all the prosecutor picked up on, to give motive that you were in the wrong, even though the guy was totally innocent. So all attorneys will tell you to just shut your face, but I go one step further and say, don't be an asshole about it. Don't be an a-hole about it and say, I know my rights, and all you're going to do is piss off a police officer who then is not going to be as much, he's going to be more likely to arrest you, put you in handcuffs, and take you downtown. All right. So you got to be, look, this is crazy. I don't, I may need some medical help if that's true, and I can't. I will cooperate fully in 24 hours after I speak to an attorney. They understand this. They know the system's stacked against you, and the two cops, the 20-year-old cops, 20-year cops that were in this class, they said they don't talk to the police. They don't talk to the police. And they're 20-year veteran SWAT people. They say, and what's interesting is the detectives are their buddies a lot of times. They've known them for years. And the detective has to sit them down and talk to them. And they're like, come on, you know I ain't going to say nothing. Until the union, rep gets here or the union lawyer gets here. They won't talk to the police because it can just go south on you. And especially with the atmosphere now with all this anti-police settlement, let's see, Donna Marie says June 9th was the full strawberry moon. Well, yeah, it's behind trees now, but boy, was it gorgeous. I never heard that term, strawberry moon. I've heard of the Strawberry Festival. Is that in Pongo? Is that tied to it? I don't know. I've heard of Strawberry Queens. So anyway, you got to shut your face, give them basic stuff. Don't be an asshole. And you can watch videos with attorneys telling you exactly what to do. Easily just say what to do after a violent encounter. And there's plenty of attorneys sitting there telling you what to say, what not to say, and all that. Okay, let's see what else happened today. I didn't give you my weight loss deal. I think this is the 24th week. 75 pounds down. Yay! Last week was 72. And since this was a vehicle trip that I was taking, I actually planned ahead. I have a big cooler in the back with the stuff I'm allowed to have, with my vitamins, with some almond milk, with some water, with some, I have some flavored water that I really like, and it's not the best, but it does keep me from, drinking something even worse. 75 pounds down. Check that out. I think it was, 73 last week, 75, pushing towards 80. Yeehaw! So, that's my little report for tonight. I'll have plenty of a-holes and all back to regular, I think, next week. So I'll sign off here. Yay! Thank you. Woohoo! 75 down. Can you imagine, folks, 75 pounds? If you lost 75 pounds, Sue, you wouldn't even exist. Sue's really, really like perfect built. I think former gymnast, and she barely weighs 75 pounds, and she's not anorexic. Yeah, I got plenty of stuff saved up for you for next Sunday night. And anybody wants to know more about this class, I think he does it 6 times a year. Really opens your eyes. You probably should have some handgun training before you take it, just, because this didn't really concentrate on the gun so much, although I take that back a little bit. It's where you hold it when you're moving through a door, the threshold of the door. Yeah, so I know when I was doing my solo run through this entire building, my arms were getting tired because I was tensed up, fired up, adrenaline's pumping, AK-47's going off, and so the guy was telling me, okay, here's a decent way to move with your arms a little more relaxed, but able to get the gun in the fight really fast. I mean, I was ready to go the whole time. Also, at night or in darkness with a flashlight in my opposite hand, flashlight wasn't on the gun, it was in my opposite hand. If I held it a certain position, all it was doing was lighting up my rear sights. Well, people that really know how to shoot, you concentrate on the front sight, not the rear sight. I couldn't even see the front sight because of where I was holding the the flashlight, it was just blowing my back sights up. It's got kind of a shiny material on the back sights. Couldn't even see the front sight, so I had to adjust the position of my flashlight in my off hand, my left hand, so that my front sight was illuminated. My back sights were not that much compared to the front sight, which is what I want to use, because you can't hit anything just using the back sights. So that kind of stuff, and shooting one-handed because you got the flashlight in the other hand, and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, it was a very productive day. Adds to my total enormous amount of training that I have, but never enough. You know, if you're taking the responsibility of carrying a concealed weapon, you better know how to use it, and it's not just going to the range and plinking a couple times. You got to be able to shoot while you're moving, hit stuff while you're moving. You got to be able to hit with one hand, your weak hand. What happens if you get shot in your strong hand? You got to be able to shoot one-handed with your weak hand, which is very difficult, takes practice. You know, so anyway, very productive. I guess you can tell how excited I am about it. I love being trained by people that have been there, done that. There's so many people online that, I mean, yeah, maybe they were in the service, but maybe they were a cook or something, and now they're trying to teach you combat tactics, you know. So when these guys been there, done that. All right, so I think that's enough for tonight. Got through it without killing myself, and keep those cards and letters coming. Don't forget, we still have the deal at brutalselfdefense.com, where you can get 14 hours of training from myself and Alan Baris. You can see a lot of his stuff at
on the route. Closed road.
Closed road. What? Oh no. So anyway, it's surviveanddefend.com for Alan. Brutal self-defense. Use 25 down if you decide to get the 2-hour, the first 2 hours of Alan and I's course, and the 85-page handout. So you go to brutalselfdefense.com/videos and use 25 down as the coupon code. You'll get the first 2 hours in the handout for only $15. So anyway, it looks like I got a detour I got to go on here. So good talking to everybody, and I'll catch you next time.